Hello to all the comic fans, Marvel geeks, and all the nerds in between. Welcome to another episode of the Vigilante Vibes podcast, where we talk all things Marvel along with other fandoms, but without the toxicity that's taken up way too much space in each and every fandom. I'm your host, Megan Nicole, and today I am joined by the wonderful woman behind JansComicSpace, Janelle. And today we are going to discuss all the wild news that's come out from DC and Marvel. Janelle, thank you for being here.
I'm excited to be here, Megan. We've been talking about this since forever for us to talk. And the week went on, and then news kept coming out, and I was like, oh my goodness.
I know. And then we were so busy on certain days, and it was like, I just want to do it so bad, though.
Right.
So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about you?
Yes, so my name is Janelle, but I go by JansComicSpace on TikTok. I'm with Nerd Initiative. I'm in the comics bullpen, and I'm also covering TV shows and movies sometimes. I just love Marvel, DC, everything. I'm just a well-rounded nerd. I'm really into comics, as I said, and I just love creating and talking to people about the things that I love. So definitely, I love everything that is nerdy.
I will say it is hard to find such a positive presence in nerd culture. And for anyone who's not following Janelle, I highly recommend it. She is so sweet and so nice. And I love her enthusiasm and excitement. It's something that it's infectious. It just gets you going.
Oh, Megan, you're awesome too. I've been a big fan since we collabed a couple times at Nerd Initiative for some of our reviews. So I know you're good people. Lauren, all the girls that are in Comics Bullpen are awesome.
Dude, we have the best team, and 100% the women are incredible. It's so hard because I'm a girl's girl. I'm all for all women, but I don't get along with women very well. Just because they're not usually nerdy.
No. You really can't find anybody.
You can't.
I got lucky with you guys.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. We really did get lucky because, not only are we all just nerding it up, just vibing, but, everyone is super insanely nice at Nerd Initiative. It's wild.
And that's good to have, just a group of people so you could bounce ideas off of, and then also just listen to their opinion when they do videos or when they do reviews. So then I'm not second guessing and being oh, is this actually good? And then you can go to yourself or Meg or Lauren and be oh, they said that this is good, so probably it's good.
I agree. I've definitely learned a lot from a lot of the people at Nerd Initiative, and including you. But I know we have been going crazy over this news that we're going to discuss. And I know that you are a DC girly. So let's start with the DC news.
Yeah.
So first up, James Watkins is now set to direct Clayface. How excited are you for a Clayface movie?
I'm pretty excited. I know a little bit about Clayface, but not too much. I know it from the Harley Quinn series that I've been watching diligently. So I know about that character through the animation space, but it'll be really interesting to see how they do a Clayface movie. I kind of know a little bit of his backstory, so it's good to have different characters from the DCU, so I'm really excited about that.
I am too. I'm probably in the same boat. I don't know too much about Clayface. I think the most I've known about him is from the animated shows like Creature Commandos, for example. That's the last place I saw him. So I don't know too much, but I am hesitant on how that's going to transfer into live action because he is a weird looking dude.
He is, but if he has the right backstory, which James Gunn usually tries to do, I think it'll be fine. But like you said, it's hard to translate that to live action, but hopefully James and Peter, because they're both co-CEOs, when they look over it, they'll be if the script isn't good, they're not going to go forward with it. So hopefully they kind of flush out the character and then cast it right. You got to have a good person to be able to act it out and then go from there.
I agree. I do love that James Gunn made that known that he will not greenlight anything if the script isn't ready. I think that's I love Marvel. I love the MCU, but they could learn from that so heavily.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So our next bit of news, a series of crypto shorts are in the works at DC. This I'm super excited, and like no one else was. And it's such a bummer.
I get it because like Crypto, like he's a good character. I like Crypto. I saw the Super Pet thing, the movie with my little cousin, and it was cute. And I was like, oh my goodness. And of course, Crypto will be appearing in Superman in July. So I'm really curious to see how they will approach it. Maybe they'll do it more like over at Marvel. They do Groot, with the little shorts and stuff like that. So it's just his little adventures as being Crypto the dog. Because James Gunn, I know, likes to have him kind of be like his dog that he has in real life. So it could also like bring another audience in. Maybe, I know you have a daughter, a younger daughter. So like maybe that is, they're trying to pull in the younger audience as well. So there's probably a couple things that are going on as to why they want it in the first place.
I think the same. I think it's going to be just like the Groot miniseries, which I loved. I thought it was so cute. I love that extra content they give. That's not movies or a show. It's just like fun. It's like a one-off in a comic book. It's just fun.
And I love that it's not connected to anything, because sometimes you don't really want everything connected. Like over at Marvel, they had like the Christmas special. Like, I love that. Like, give me more of that. Werewolf by Night. Like, it was like just totally different. Like, I like that because sometimes, as a person who, heavily follows everything, sometimes you do need a break from the quote unquote the main things that are coming out. So to have this kind of break and to kind of just have fun with the show is really important.
No, I agree completely. It's nice to have just a random bit of content you can enjoy and not have to worry about where does this fit into the timeline? What universe are they in? It's just like, just enjoy. It is fine. We are good. Like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It was nice to see a show that you didn't have to worry about.
Right. And I know a lot of people had a lot of problems with that. I mean, we could talk about that a little bit later, but again, just having those things that are just not connected. You could just watch it, that's it, and just, leave it alone.
I agree, because it's exhausting trying to figure out what goes where. Like at DC, for so long, we were all so confused about what is going on and why is everything dark, Snyder? But, now we have Gunn at the reins, but we also have Matt Reeves doing his own thing, and it's like, I hate this. It's like, we're in a custody battle, kind of, and mommy and daddy are making their own Batmans.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that they kind of get it together because the future of DC is riding on this, The Superman movie has to be corrected, We want the Batman, but they're taking forever to bring Robert Pattinson back. And I saw he made a quote that, like, listen, I don't want to be old and doing the Batman. Like, come on. Yeah. Like, hurry up. And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry. I don't know why I said something.
No, it's okay. No, but I really want, them to figure it out because Matt Reeves is doing a good job. Of course, Colin Farrell won an award for The Penguin. And just that whole world is working. And it is, you shouldn't stop something that's not working. But if you wanted to establish your own DCU, I would have already had Batman established in James Gunn's world before we even brought in Matt Reeves like Batman. If we were going to do all that, I would have just like did the reverse and then had him have his own separate series.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But although, like, I love Pattinson. I love him as Batman. He is such a fucking snack, too. Oh, my Lord. So it's like, Gunn, why wouldn't you want this? But then it's like, I think Gunn has a pretty big ego, which it comes with the territory of making these movies, being a director, and now you're like co-CEO of DC. You should have an ego that comes with that. But it's like, I know it's because you didn't choose him. I know it, James Gunn, but I'd probably be the same way though.
Yeah, but again, like I just want James Gunn to get along with Matt Reeves because ultimately he has a successful kind of universe over there. So you don't want to break that like bond. You don't want to break that relationship because then that it can go left and get canceled. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want them to have beef, but James just has to get it together. I mean, and they have to just make decisions about like, okay, well, this is what we're doing, and just kind of stand on business.
I agree completely. But speaking of the Superman, James Gunn said maybe it was today or yesterday. They all the days blend together these days.
Right.
He said that he did early screenings for Superman and the results were disappointing. So they're having to go back and reshoot so they can fix the complaints. And I was like, that's very, very transparent. I do really like that about him, that he is so open. He's like, we know there's issues. He stays ahead of the rumors. He stays ahead of the clickbait. He's like, we're reshooting to fix what people did not like. And it's like, you can't not support that. That's a great thing. That means you care about the fans.
Yes. And that's ultimately what you need to be doing at the end of the day. I mean, I know over there with Marvel and Kevin Feige, Kevin really kind of came into like just blindness of everything, over, at Marvel until he kind of figured it out. With James Gunn, he already came into an established universe that just was not working. So when you become the CEO, you're thinking, okay, I have to think about the fans, because if I don't have the fans on my side, everything's not going to work. So
Yeah.
definitely I'm glad that he kind of went back. I know for Captain America Brave New World, they did the same thing. They had to reshoot, they had to fix the script and things like that. And now people are happy with the movie. So it's really important to listen to the fans, and then also just keep it to the comics. Like, it's so easy. The blueprint is right there.
That's what I've always said. I was like, how can you fail the test when the answers are there? Right there. Like, it's so easy. And it's like, with a few movies, it's like, it was very clear the directors did not read the comics, which, not everyone does. But it was very clear that some movies, they were doing it in spite of the comics. They're like, I can make something better. And it's like, bro, wait, no.
Right.
Now's not the time.
Exactly. And I get so frustrated when they're like, oh, we don't know exactly where we're going to go with everything. Like, no, like, use the comics. We're not saying take everything from it. As fans, no. If you have to change things for the good of the movie, and it makes more sense for you to take out certain things, that's fine. But we're asking to keep the blueprint of what is in the comics. Like, if there's a certain characteristic or if there's a certain storyline that has to be this way, keep it that way. And then move, to change something else. Like, you just have to be kind of smart with the way that, like, people have to, like, think of these movies and think of these comics,
Yeah, it's like Daredevil Born Again. They kept the main characters very, very close to their comic counterpart, and they are pulling from the comics. I like that I can watch the show and say, oh, that's from Daredevil 468. I like that shit. It makes me feel smart. But they do change other characters, like they changed Karen and Heather. But the changes made sense for the show, but they kept the ones that the reason we're watching the show is for Daredevil, Wilson Fisk, Punisher, Muse. They kept them, I think. We have not seen Punisher or Muse, but I have a good feeling about it.
Oh, yeah.
They kept them good.
I love John Bernthal as Punisher. Like, I'm so excited to see him. And, yeah, like, just like what Daredevil's doing. You just got to be strategic with it. That's all we're asking for.
Yeah, just choose your battles.
Right, choose battles.
Yeah. So, some very exciting news. James Gunn confirms a Teens Titans movie is in the works. And I believe there was going to be one, but then it was like canceled, then it wasn't, then they just magically stopped talking about it. But now he's like, we are doing it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I love the original Teen Titans, the animated version.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about this yesterday, and I was thinking about, like, back when I was little, I would always watch the Teen Titans animated show. I just really just want them to do it right, you know? Like, I want the original Teen Titans. I know that there was a couple, like, characters that are within the Teen Titans that, like, are without, like, you know, Cyborg, Starfire, but I want the main ones. I don't want any of the other ones. I want my Robin, I want my Cyborg, I want my Starfire, Beast Boy, like, and Raven.
Yes.
Like, I want them. I don't
The
want
gang.
anything else.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, oh my God, I like grew up on the Teen Titans. I love the Teen Titans. I hated Teen Titans Go. And I was like, what if James Gunn just goes and trolls us all and makes a live action Teen Titans Go and it's just a bunch of little like preteen kids acting annoying as hell?
Oh no, please don't. No, no, no. Like, even with the terrible Titans TV show, like, you gotta give it to him that, like, some of the episodes, I watched it actually. Some of the episodes were really good. And I was like, okay, like, this is decent. So, like, they can do a decent Teen Titans movie if they just get the right people, get the right script, and shoot it, and let's see how it goes. Because everybody knows their characters, you know, everybody knows their backstories, hopefully, by now. But you never know.
Well, I think out of all the things that was announced, I think Teen Titans is in the. Oh, I'm terrified. I think Teen Titans is in the best, has the best chance of succeeding because what does James Gunn do? He does ragtag team ups with, you know, feisty attitude, the whimsical, all around. He gets it. Guardians of the Galaxy, Creature Commandos, Suicide Squad. He gets it.
Yeah.
So I think we're in pretty good hands with a Titans movie.
He does a good team up movie. Can't knock him for that. But as he stated before, though, like, he's trying to kind of distance himself from, like, you know, directing all of the movies because he wants to give directors a chance to come in and do their version of things. So, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if, you know, another director said, hey, you know, I'll get on board and do the Teen Titans movie.
Yeah, just have, like, Gunn as a consultant or something.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would... Yeah, I agree. Look at us. Look at us.
Look at us.
So then, look at us. So the next one, Starfire and Green Lantern's animated shows are in the works. I am so excited for a Starfire show. The Green Lanterns one, it's what is the name of it? My Adventures with Green Lantern. Did you ever watch My Adventures with Superman?
With Superman, yes. Oh, I love that show. So if it's going to be the same thing, I think I posted on Twitter that, like, if it's going to be in the same vein as My Adventures with Superman, I'm on board. I'm ready. Like, that is a fantastic show. It was well crafted, well animated. Loved it. So if we're going like that, I'm ready for that. Now, the Starfire show, I don't know anything about. Like, I do know that I do like the character Starfire because, you know, of the Teen Titans. But I'm really interested to see how they're going to kind of craft that show. Like, is it going to be kind of like Harley Quinn, you know, like where it's like she's in her own world and she's just interacting with the Teen Titans? Because she gotta interact with them at some point, you know. So, I'm really curious to see how they're going to craft that show because, like, you know, it's hard to make a character who's within a team in the spotlight, you know, versus like with the Lantern show, you know, the main character, I think it's one of the women that is going to be the main character.
Jessica Cruz.
Online.
Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, Jessica Cruz. So, I can understand that, but Starfire, I don't know how they're going to make it different.
I think their best bet is to make it a prequel to Teen Titans Go and show her origin, show up how all her life up until she gets with the Teen Titans. Like, it's a limited series. I think that would be perfect because I think limited series are so underrated. Like, give me one good season, complete the season, like if it's an origin story, something, and it leads to another project, perfect. Like WandaVision, Agatha All Along. These things, like Moon Knight, like, I feel like they're so slept on and everyone wants a season 2. It's like, it doesn't have to be that way. It's a connected universe.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that originality, like, the way that they have Harley Quinn. Like, I've been enjoying Harley Quinn these last couple of years. And animation has really made it up in the world, because even with Invincible, like I just watched it yesterday, it's fantastic, and they know how to craft it. They take their time. Like, so I'm really excited. And DC does really well with animated shows.
Yeah, they've always dominated. There's no denying it. No one can. I'm Marvel girl all the way through, but I can't even hold that.
What? Their first show, their show, with Spider-Man, is probably one of the first animated shows that I actually was like attached to. Marvel doesn't do animation well.
They don't. And but it seems like they're changing, because X-Men 97 was phenomenal.
Right.
So it feels like they went through some stuff, but let's hope.
It's hit or miss. Like, sometimes it's good, sometimes, but it should be consistent. Like, DC's always consistent with the animated shows.
They've always done better.
Oh, it's good. Marvel's like, that was good. No, that wasn't great. Oh, that was good. No.
Oh, I agree. Like, you have the animated Batman series, but then you had X-Men, the animated series. And it's like, look, I grew up on the X-Men. I love that show. But if you go back and rewatch that show, if you dive in that show for the first time right now, you will absolutely hate that show. It is such a hard show to watch. But the animated Batman series is not. And it's always been, they've always dominated.
Yeah.
So can't deny it.
Yep.
All right. So my last piece of DC news, because we got all of this news like one day.
Right.
Then they were just quiet, which I hate that they do that. So a new animated Superpowers is in the works at DC. The series follows students Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aquagirl, Green Lantern, and Terra learning at a school headed by Principal Martian Manhunter.
Ooh, I love Martian Manhunter. I don't think I ever told you why I love Martian Manhunter. I love me some Martian. In the animated series, I forget what I watched. I think I watched, like, for the Superman the animated series, they did this one episode for the Christmas episode, and Martian Manhunter didn't have anywhere to go, so he went to Superman's house, and they gave him a gift with a little sweater, and I was like, oh my god, oh, I love me some Martian Manhunter. I want him to come to the DCU for sure, and he has so many cool powers too. But as far as the show, yeah, that sounds good. It sounds like it's like a what is that called? What was that show from Netflix? Umbrella Academy. With all the kids, and they go to school, and they got the powers and the stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to be like.
I think so too. I saw a lot of people were not pleased with this news, and I was like, but that's a really fun cast you have there. Like, a lot of these are very underrated characters, and plus there's also even more Green Lantern, because like our heads are gonna be filled, all our faces are gonna be green this year and next year, because you have lanterns, My Adventures with the Green Lanterns, and then this that has a Green Lantern. But like, there's so many cool characters in this. I don't understand why are people not excited. Like Aquagirl, Flash, Plastic Man,
because they're just not invested. Like, most of the people are just not invested in the DC animation, and I don't know why. Like, if you want quality DC stuff, like that even happened before James and Peter came in, that is what you need to watch. The DC animated shows, because they never miss. So I probably also the characters. People are not really big fans of all those characters that you mentioned, and like, everybody just wants to see the big 4 or 5 women,
the big Justice Leaguers.
Yeah, the Justice League and stuff. I mean, and which is fine, but I like seeing other characters. Like I said, Martian Manhunter. I love me some Martian Manhunter. I don't know why. I think that episode really like stayed with me, and I was like, oh, I want Martian Manhunter, because it's
kind of cool. Like you just want to like kind of like adopt them, like, oh my God, let me help you. And then they just stick with you. I get that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really, and again, like, people don't really, or like, they're not really committed to the DC, like, animated, like, series. Like, I don't know why. Just
I think it's
watch
because
it.
it's mostly casual watchers, like the ones who
Yeah.
just watch the movies. They don't read the comics. They don't watch the extra stuff. They're just there for the blockbuster.
Right. So, oh well, we're good. More stuff for us.
True. So that does it for DC.
Woo!
That was a banger of episode for DC, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to Marvel. The Russo brothers confirmed on RDJ prepping for his big Doctor Doom debut. Oh, that was horrible.
I'm never gonna let you live that down.
I wouldn't either. That's fair. They say that Robert Downey Jr. is so immersed in Doctor Doom prep ahead of Avengers Doomsday filming. He said he's so dialed in. He's writing backstory, costume ideas. I think he sees a real opportunity here with the character. And my thing is, like, why is he writing backstory?
Well, you got to remember the comics. I don't know if you've read. I just started picking up some Doctor Doom comics, and Doctor Doom does have a lot of backstory. And I remember somebody was saying, like, if they don't introduce him in the Fantastic Four, we're gonna have a problem because, like, Reed Richards is very heavily involved with Doctor Doom. So if they don't establish that in that movie, then Doomsday has to set up everything. You know, it has to start from scratch because we don't know this character. You know, as like fans and like moviegoers, like, unless you read the comics. So I'm not surprised, and especially because I don't know if you've watched RDJ's Oppenheimer. He was in there and he won his Oscar. He did a fantastic job as whatever his character's name was. I can't remember.
I don't know. I just know Oppenheimer.
He did good. So he can change into like another person. Because like I was like, oh boy, I don't know if he's gonna do it. And I watched Oppenheimer and I was like, wow, okay, stretching your little legs, okay. So I'm really excited to see what he comes up with. I mean, and it's RDJ. They're paying him a lot of money for him to come back. Of course, they're going to give kind of like quote unquote creative liberty because he was so successful with Iron Man. So it's gonna happen. But I'm really glad that he kind of looks out for Tom Holland as well, because Tom was saying in one of the interviews that I watched that he had to go to RDJ to just figure out, okay, like, what should I be doing? Because he's like, I need to get paid. I'm kind of trying to wrap up Spider-Man a little bit. Like, you know, I really want to kind of get paid the stuff that I need to get paid. Now I'm going into Spider-Man 4. So RDJ has been definitely mentoring Tom to get him to the point of honestly where RDJ is, because they can't do this stuff without them, you know. But yeah, what is your opinion?
I go back and forth on RDJ as Doom because it's like he's probably going to be a variant, like,
right,
you know, like the appetizer before the main course. I think we're going to see a bigger Doom at some point,
right?
Or like I had a thought, like, what if he's not even Doom? What if he's just what Doom's Doom bots look like?
Oh.
Like, I thought that would be cool.
That would be awesome.
Right? But this, like, I know this statement had a lot of people worried because they're like, why is RDJ writing backstory at all about Doom? That should be the Russos doing that. And it's like, we don't know. He could be helping. We don't know what he knows about Doom. We don't know how big of a fan he is. I mean, look at all he did, like you said, with Iron Man. Mm-hmm. Just, I trust him to do it justice. I'm just worried that I personally won't like the story it goes with it. But it's like, it's still Doctor Doom, you know? Like,
right. He's a big bad. And you gotta remember too that, like, he was not originally supposed to be with like this whole thing. because Jonathan Majors had gotten in trouble. It would have been awesome to see the Kang Dynasty, because Jonathan could have killed it. He could have killed this. Like, I would have loved to see him, like, just terrorize everybody. But you had to pivot. So now we got RDJ as Doctor Doom. And I trust the Russo brothers because they've had a successful run with all the movies that we love. And they're trying to make it probably bigger than what Infinity War and Endgame is, you know? So,
well, speaking on that, they also gave an estimate on the run times, what they could be for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Doomsday will be around 2.5 hours. Secret Wars, 3 hours.
I don't know how they're able to estimate that, you know, because, like, part of me is like, okay, like, yes, like, if you break it down, you know, you gotta have, like, the beginning, gotta have the middle, gotta have the end. I mean, and maybe that is the point of them having backstory from RDJ, because they have to fill in that part, like, first to establish who he is and what his main purpose is. Because you gotta remember, too, it has to connect to Secret Wars. We gotta get Secret Wars. So, definitely, I can understand that now that you said that. But you really can't estimate the runtime. Apparently, they're supposed to be starting to film in April. We don't know. Like, you could say, oh, you know, it's gonna be 2.5, 3 hours. And then it's like, no, we were just kidding. It's kind of less than that, a little bit less than that, because we had to edit all this footage out because it didn't make sense. Like, you don't really know until you actually see everything and edit everything. So,
yeah, I agree. They probably might be, that's what they're aiming for. Like, that is their goal. But I feel like it's very, very early to give us anything. Also, Secret Wars should be 2 parts. I'm just going to say it. There's no way.
Oh. How so?
Yeah. It's just such a big event, and there's going to be so many characters involved that you want each one to shine in their own right. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't you just make it 2 parts?
But I thought the main thing of Secret Wars, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that, you know, all of these multiverses are kind of collapsing on themselves, you know, because we do have Loki holding everything together, but eventually everything is going to collapse, and people are trying to save, quote unquote, their own timeline, you know? So, like, it's different variants from different times, you know, from different multiverses.
Well, they all come together, kind of, yeah. They all come together, and it's like, but it's different teams. Like, you have the Guardians of the Galaxy, you have the Avengers, the old Avengers, the variant Avengers, you have young Avengers, you have random vigilantes of New York. Like, you have everyone for Secret Wars, and that's why it's like, it should be 2 parts, I think. Like, the build-up, like Infinity War and Endgame.
Right.
Because I want them to do it justice, and, like, if there is a soft reboot, some of these characters we will never see again. So you want that last time you see them to be memorable.
Yeah. And I get it, like, but I'm really not to disappoint you, Megan. I think 1 movie would be fine, because
that's fine.
Like, I just think that once you're done with that, then we can move on to, like you said, new characters. And it's not like, oh, I don't have to, like, remember any of these characters. They passed away, they're killed, you know, we're done with them. So I think especially wrapping up, especially of some of these characters, because, you know, they've been playing these characters for like 10 plus years, 10, almost 20 years, you know? And
that's right. Get rid of Ruffalo. I'm not a fan.
Megan!
I'm just not a fan of him as Bruce Banner and Hulk. I just see, like, romantic comedy Mark Ruffalo, and it just drives me nuts. It's like every time he tries to be really serious, or like he's always angry, I'm just like, stop. You're from 13 going on 30.
I know. But I'm just hopeful that they could kind of wrap up everything, because that's what the Russo brothers do. Just like they did with Infinity War. Infinity War and Endgame. Like, that was 10 years of just, you know, wrapping that up in a bow. Now we got to wrap up the multiverse in a bow, you know.
Yeah, and I'm going to need them to stay with Marvel
I know. I don't know where they think that they're going. Like, no, I need you to direct the next big movie.
I'm saying, like, first of all, the audacity. You're home now. Because I don't want to be rude about it, but, like, everything they make in Marvel is phenomenal.
Right.
But everything they make outside of Marvel, it flops.
I know. You know what? But no, they had the one. Didn't they direct? I think it was with Hemsworth? Extract? Did they do Extract from Netflix?
Did they do Extract?
I think so. That was good.
Did.
That was good.
The second one, somehow they made a sequel even better than the original.
That was good. Everything else, no.
Well, like a movie of theirs dropped today, and it got 10%.
Wow. Yeah, the Electric State. Yeah, I heard the reviews are horrible.
Horrible, and it's like, poor guys. I mean, you don't want them all, but like they'll win here. They'll win with us. They win in our hearts.
Right. I mean, and they're true comic fans, I believe. You know, like, they like this stuff. Like, you gotta... If you're directing this stuff, you kind of have to be a fan of this stuff.
Yeah. Takai Waititi. Yeah. But, moving on to news everyone liked, Matthew Lillard has been cast in Daredevil Born Again Season 2.
Now, do we know what character he is?
Nope.
Well,
I want Jester.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't know what he's going to play. I'm just going to keep it, open-minded. I saw him in Five Nights at Freddy? Five Nights at Freddy's? At Freddy's? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I just see it when I turn on Peacock.
Right, right. And
someday.
He was good in that. Of course, he's, originally he was the actor for Scooby-Doo. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring, because you never know with Matthew Lillard's character. You don't know what's going to happen. So
no idea, but he's going to nail it because it's Matthew Lillard. So he could be cashier number 4 for all I care, and it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be great.
So moving on, Jon Bernthal will be co-writing The Punisher special presentation for Marvel Studios. This is a big deal for 2 reasons. 1, he's getting a special presentation. He's co-writing it. 2, they're back to special presentations, which I love because they need that. I think they need to take advantage of that.
Special presentations are in my heart. Like, I'm just like, why didn't they keep going? Like, it wasn't successful. Like, the Christmas special, Werewolf by Night, now this. Like, I love those one-off stories. And, like, you kind of get engrossed in them. And you're like, oh, that was good. I didn't need, 8 episodes. I just needed a little special, and I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah. So, for this one, Reynaldo Marcus Green, I guess who directed King Richard, which I did not see, is set to direct, and he describes it as a shotgun blast of a story, but also has all the pathos and emotion. Yeah. And I 100% believe him, because if Jon Bernthal's co-writing it, it's going to be amazing, because he takes that character so seriously.
King Richard was good. So, I mean, that's what got Will Smith his Oscar. So, that will definitely, that gives me hope that it's going to be good. And Jon Bernthal knows the character of the Punisher already. Like, he's played it for a number of years. So, and of course he's coming back for, Daredevil Born Again. So I am not, I'm not happy, like, that he's going to be able to have that opportunity to write and to help, kind of bring the world together and everything.
Yeah, I remember he said that he would come back to play Punisher. This was before he was announced to be in Born Again. He would only come back if Marvel, the MCU, did the Punisher justice. They didn't, they didn't Disneyfy it. We know what that means.
Yeah.
Like, just water it down. Yeah, when he first got the role, he went out, he talked to comic book fans on where he should start to study in the comics. Like, that's what we need when we get these movies and these shows. But with these special presentations, why are they not using these as origin stories for their characters? Like a Nova special presentation would be great.
That would be awesome. Especially because we haven't had Nova. And it seems like I know we were done talking about DC, but it seems like that's exactly what they're doing over at DC, having these little small things. Marvel should have just kept going with the special presentations because they were successful. Everybody liked them. Keep it going, So then you can even introduce new characters, like the Novas and other characters that we haven't heard of.
Yeah. Like, imagine they use these to introduce characters that were being in the movies. Like, imagine we got a Sentry special presentation for Thunderbolts. That would have made so much sense.
Yeah. I would like that. Give me that.
Yeah, Marvel, if you're listening, I'll give you that idea for free. Just do it. My gosh. But still, like, finder's fee,
Yeah. But again, they just have to, just go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and get your people and, that's it.
That's it. So, speaking of Nova, we are on our last bit of news. That isn't... I wish I didn't end it on this one, because this one is actually kind of sad news. Marvel Studios paused development for 3 shows: Nova, Terror Inc., and Strange Academy.
Now, did you know anything about... I don't know anything about Terror Inc. Terror Inc.
No one does.
No?
I have no idea what that is. So, Strange Academy was expected to focus on Wong, but the thing to keep in mind about all 3 of these, they were never greenlit.
Oh.
They never had the go. So, I was like, what are you pausing development for then? And I guess they were like, we're just throwing around ideas, and then we're like, nah.
Well, probably because it doesn't fit into the quote-unquote timeline, of, all the content that needs to come out, because I know that there were some missing things from when they did the presentation at San Diego Comic-Con. There were some things that were missing, and that afterwards, things were announced. So, I mean, it probably just didn't fit into anything, oh, well, we're not going to introduce Nova until so-and-so. Or, Wong's already going to be in Secret Wars or Doomsday. I'm just hypothetical.
But probably will be.
He need a TV show? And then the Terror Inc., I don't know what the Terror Inc. would be. But,
Yeah, I saw people saying, no way, they were going to do Terror Inc. And I was like, you don't know what it is. Just shut up. None of us do. But Nova, it's like, you guys dropped the ball on Nova because we've already gotten the Nova Corps. How do you not have Nova? That's always driven me nuts. But Strange Academy would have been great because I want them to bring Ned there with Wong.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, the most important thing is maybe they're trying to also get scripts, done. If it's not greenlit, if it's not there was no good script, why do it?
So that's all we have for news. Thank you for going through all this news with me. That would have been really a bummer to do it by myself. Plus, it was so much fun.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't mention the leaks
because I think they were proven to be fake.
Oh, okay. Okay. We don't.
Yeah, they were made by AI, so I was like, okay.
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. Whatever. But I liked them though. But
yeah.
Whatever. But yeah. I was excited to discuss those, and then it was like, all right, you took that away from me. Why did you guys even leak them? But then it's like the Fantastic Four ones. Those seems really legit, but apparently they're in the same. But we know she's going to be pregnant with Franklin. You could see her walking with that without the bump.
Waddle, and I'm like, that is a pregnant woman. That is a pregnant woman.
Dude, I saw that walk and I was like, I know that walk. I've walked that walk. I know it. That is a pregnant woman. And the movie's called First Steps.
Right, exactly. Come on.
Ridiculous. But thank you for going through all of this with me. Where can our listeners find you?
You can find me at JansComicSpace on TikTok. Any socials, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, JansComicSpace. If you look it up, I'm there.
And you can find her at Nerd Initiative when she makes all this content for them. It's really great content. So if you're not checking out Nerd Initiative, what are you doing?
I mean, come on. It has everything.
Yeah, right? So With that being said, thank you for coming on. You're welcome back anytime. I'm going to need you back on for like all the DC stuff because you know your DC stuff and I'm just dipping my toes in. So
I'll be back.
You're on my retainer as the DC girl. Yes. With that being said, thank you for listening to this episode of Vigilante Vibes. Wherever you're listening to this episode, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my amazing guests like Janelle or any future episode. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a marvelous night.
Bye-bye.